to bring you this financial management system, transparent financial management system with easy one in ERP, easy one ERP, especially for the educational institute. As you know, Easy One is an offshoot of EasyLib Software Private Limited. We are providing the software for educational institute for last 25 years. We are very thankful to you for about 700 installations we have got all over India and a few countries worldwide, and especially the 300 customers who are using our latest EasyLib 6.4 a cloud version or Easy One 7.2 a cloud version. So the Easy One software is for the entire automation of education institutes. It provides a smart governance across all your areas, starting from admissions, attendance, student information, staff information, exams, the timetable, and many other things, including the inventory management, sales desk, service desk, student relationship management, alumni management, transport management, and even the donor relationship management. And the library software provides end-to-end library software, including cataloging, membership management, circulation, digital library, visitor management, reporting, and many more. So overall, Easy One is positioned to help you in managing your entire education institutes, may it be a small school or a college or an entire university. The software has been designed to run for the universities wherein you can define the multiple institutes and manage the entire operations. So today the topic of the webinar is transparent financial management, how you can achieve this using the Easy One ERP. Okay, let's go into the next slide over here. So in this, there are simply 4 slides that I'm going to cover. The first one is related to the why this efficient management of the finance is required. Then we are going to go over some of the challenges that currently the institutions face, and then how ERP-based financial management system is going to help, and especially how Easy One is going to help over here for you. The very first slide is related to why the efficient financial management system is required over here. Many of you having a history of a few decades running for many years together have built the systems on a pen and paper basis, and at the most many of the organizations are already using a simple accounting, a separate accounting software for you, and some of you are using a separate financial fee collection system, and some of you are using the separate systems to manage the student data. The issue with that is that all the data is spread over here. So that's why it's very important that you build a very efficient financial management system you need to have, because only when you have a complete, efficient, and the transparent system that builds the trust. So when there is a trust, automatically the benefits are going to be more in terms of the basic discipline, how you run it, the student admissions, and even filing the government reporting and many more. That's why it's very important that you have got a very efficient financial management system. The second reason why this financial management system is required is that you need to track all your fees that you are getting, the revenues, the expenses, and all these are to be tracked on a real-time basis. When you are having the pen and paper basis or method or a separate accounting system, you do not have the complete visibility. So whenever you require the data, you means the management requires the data, you need to talk to the different people in the accounting, and they will take a few hours, if not the days, to gather the data. However, when you have a full-fledged efficient financial management system, you are going to be able to get the real-time data over here. And the third reason why this efficiency matters is that when you have this Easy One kind of system, you are getting a centralized financial control over here. Whoever is the chief financial officer of your organization has a complete picture of what's happening across your organizations without having to go to the multiple systems. You click a button, you get a complete dashboard over here. That is the benefit this efficient financial management systems can offer for your organization. Okay, so now let's go a little bit more in detail about the challenges that you face. Many times what happens is that over the years, the systems are built, people are accustomed to using the pen and paper method or the separate systems, what you have got. There is a kind of, the familiarity has built in over here. People are very comfortable using the system. They don't want to change. But you know what is the problem? At that time when everything is static, when it is manually done, you are facing this real-time data financial availability is not there. That is the biggest issue that you are facing because everything is in the pen and paper. The receipts are issued in pen and paper. Then somebody goes and then totals it up, or you use the systems like a Microsoft Excel over here, and the data is spread all over here. Here, some 10 computers, all the data is spread over here. And imagine this, if one of the machines gets corrupted, you are going to send it for the repair, and all your data is under it. So the challenges may seem small in the beginning, but when you look into the detail, they grow bigger and bigger over here. The second challenge that you're going to face, or the third one rather, is that so many students you have got. You need to collect the fees. You are collecting, you are issuing, but at any point of time, if you want to know, okay, what kind of students are paying the fees on time, who is not paying the fees on time, how much is the due collection pending, all that it requires a lot of effort for you over here. And when you have this whole thing not built thoroughly, you have the issues with the budgeting process. Sometime people go and commit that, okay, we are going to buy some things. Then you find that, okay, the collections are not going to be sufficient. So that kind of, it causes an embarrassment over here. So that's the challenge that you are going to face here. And the next one, there are different departments, there are different colleges here. There are so many heads where the expenses are happening, where the different sources are coming in. It's all a mix up is going to be not an easy task actually. And the next challenge that you are facing is that every organization is supposed to file the regular reports. In case it happens to be the companies, right? We file the reports with the registrar of companies. Similarly, the education institutes, you need to file your all this balance sheet, the income statement, or the P&L statement, even for the not-for-profit organizations. You need to file them. I need to be compliant over here. And if everything is pen and paper, it becomes a Herculean task to be compliant over here. And it doesn't stop there. When you are not ready to file on time, it causes delay. And that delay may hurt you in getting the further grants, because many of the organizations, when you are applying for the grants, they say that, okay, submit the latest financial report. If you are going to submit the formally audited financial report of 2 years back, that's not going to be accepted. So to make sure that you are going to get the grants from the necessary government organizations, your financial systems need to be up to date and you should have filed. So whole thing is, it's a chain reaction here. One challenge leads to another challenge, another challenge, another challenge. It's like a bullwhip effect. The small issue over here turns into a big issue at a later point of time. It cascades. So that is the challenge of not having a further solid financial system in your education institutes. Okay, now let's go into the detail. When you have an ERP-based financial systems, what are you getting over here? Note, what I'm covering here is ERP-based financial management system, not just a standalone financial management system. There are enough products available. That particular product may help you build only the financial part. But what we are talking about is integrated one, where everything is integrated here. You have the student data, you have the fee collection data, you have the vendor data, you have the purchasing data, you have the different departments, you have payroll. So many departments are there. When you have an ERP-based integrated accounting system, you get a real-time financial visibility. What's happening, where you can get it. And because it's all centrally available at one point, you are going to be able to better track actually, right? So the whole world is in front of you. You click a button, it drills down. You click one more button, it drills down. You can get all the data at one place. That means the real-time reporting is possible over here because it's all in ERP. And if you want to know, okay, fee collection module, or rather, let's say you are in the financial module, you click one button, you get the fee collection details, and click one button, you will see that, okay, fees that are due, and you click one more button, it will tell you what are the heads under the financial the fees are due, you click one more button, you will find out which all the students are supposed to pay the fees yet. You click on that one student data, you are going to get all his address, phone number, and all that. You click one more button, you will be able to send an email reminder. Or if you want to send a WhatsApp, you can do that also. The whole thing becomes easy when you have everything is integrated over here, right? So that means you have a faster turnaround. You have the reduced error over here. When you use the software, you should feel happy, right? You should feel happy. You should love to use that software. And that's the goal that we have tried to build an easy one system for you over here. Then when we have everything thoroughly monitored, right, it helps you in doing the better planning, expense monitoring, do the better control you will be able to have. You are not going to suddenly commit for something without having the sufficient sources. Or when you have committed, you know how much exactly need to be raised from where. And suppose you are going to raise the money from your alumni, you invest, you can say, okay, how many alumni have committed to giving what kind of amount? You'll be able to track that also. So the whole thing makes the tracking easier and the reporting easier. And when the reporting easier, automatically you can file the reports on time with the government agencies, organizations, and that makes compliance easy here. So the very important thing that we suggest for every organization, every education institutes, definitely you should implement an ERP-based financial management system. Okay, now let's go into the easy one component. Okay, in easy one, how are we helping you do a transparent financial management system, easy one application? There are primarily three components that we have got in our system here. The first is the fee management system. So this particular fee management system helps you integrate with the student master data, student admission data. Then you have the various heads of the fees that you can collect. Then it will help you build the schedule, then collect the payment, get the necessary reports, then post it to the financial accounting system. Smooth system. Fee collection to accounting system. One thing. Second one, in the accounting module that we have got in EasyLip, the finance module, chart of accounts. You have assets, liabilities, expense, income, and under the different heads are there. And you have got the provision to enter the depreciation and all kind of things. So you can define the chart of accounts. For each of them, you can maintain the opening balance. You can import the bank statement. Yes, you can definitely import multiple bank statements into Easy One software. Then you will be able to do a bank reconciliation. And you can make the journal entries like depreciation and other things, or the interest payment. You will be able to generate a trial balance. You have the full ledger or different ledger management. And you can generate the balance sheet, P&L statement, cash flow statement. You can analyze all of this as per GAAP, generally accepted accounting practices, either of India or USA or any other country, because you can configure it the way as per that particular country's GAAP. Let me tell you how did we gain the domain knowledge over here for this. Primarily three things that we do. One, our founding team, we have worked with the different companies worldwide. So that has helped us gain the knowledge of what is the accounting practice in India, what is the accounting practice in USA and other countries. Second, we interact with the practitioners like you. We sit with you, we discuss with the auditors, we discuss with chartered accountants to see what kind of financial accounting system that we need to build. That is the second source of information. And of course, our own imagination. Then the third one is we download the tenders from the worldwide education institutes to see what kind of software they want in this system. So these are the three things we are able to utilize in coming up with the software here. The first one, the fee management system. Second is the accounting system. And the third one, it doesn't stop there, because that is the beauty of the integration. You have the budget planning, allocation, expense tracking, vendor procurement, payroll analysis, audience, compliance management. Then there is a module called a GRC, governance, risk and compliance module within EasyOne. This GRC is so important now because every organization needs to follow all this. There are so many policies you need to maintain, so many risks that you have got, how you are going to maintain, and what are the compliance expectations. You have the compliance expectation from AICT, that's the for the engineering colleges, you have the NMC for the medical colleges, you have UGC, you have the PF department, Provident Funds, you have got the ESI, you have got many other departments, GST department, if it's applicable to you, and so many. And integrated easy one system helps you all the three integration here. It's one system, as the name suggests. We want easy one to be one system for your entire organization. Now we are now going to go into the next phase of this presentation, that is the actual demonstration of the software. So why this easy one integrated finance management system for you? Smarter finance management, greater transparency. Through that, you can take the better decisions over here, which will help you grow overall, be compliant, and more. Okay, let's go into let's log into the system over here. How do you log into the Easy One system? Very simple. Every one of you, when you become a customer, you are going to get a URL, yourcollege.easyone.net or easylib.com, whatever is one URL you are going to get over here. And in that URL, you are going to be able to access only the portion that you are authorized to, because Easy One is an integrated software, because it helps you manage the entire end-to-end process of an education institute, starting from campaigns, admissions, student information, evaluation, granting the admission, enrollment. Then there is a timetable, attendance, learning management, assignments, exam, tests, and all. That's whole one flow. Then there is an entire accounting flow is there. Fee management flow is there, library management is there. So it's a massive application over here. Simply, we have grouped into this different applications, the different modules. If you just want to have a look at what are the modules are there in Easy One, you can see this list over here. Nearly 55 modules are over here. This entire software is developed in India with the engineers who are locally over here, with the global knowledge of all the people who have worked in worldwide different top companies over here. So let me first go into the fee management, because that is the first one, right? Fee management, let me just spend a minute on the establishment. Okay, so in this, you will be able to define the different colleges within your university. Then you can go into the setup. Okay, in that setup, you are going to define what grades you are going to teach, what subjects you are going to teach. All those things are going to be there. Suppose it may happen to be a medical college, you can configure as per the medical college over here, right? So medical college, you have got the first year, second year, or the PG seats. If you have to be a management college, first semester, second semester, and so on. So you will define. Then there is a module of the student master data over here. So here you are going to track all the students' data, including the students who have paid the, who have filled the application form for admission. So this is the student master data. Then when it comes to the admissions, we have got a whole module over here, right? So that talks about collecting the application, evaluating who all have submitted the application over here, evaluate, grant the admission. Then you have the fee management module. So now let's go to the fee management over here. Here you are going to be able to define the different fees for this institute, for this particular reason. What is the fee? What is the amount? You can define multiple fees for multiple people. And we have defined this design such a way that you can go all the way till the student level, right? Because we understand the complexity that you have the multiple kinds of admission. Somebody would have come from the general merit, he has got certain fee. Somebody would have come on the OBC quota, there is a different fee. Somebody would have come in the management quota, there is a different fee. And especially when it comes to management quota, there could be different kinds of discounts, right? So individually you can have the fee setup even by the student also. You can build that over here. You are going to define these different fees here. And then you are going to build the different schedules you are going to build. That means skill center, VTU, Dandeli. That's one of the things. You can add a schedule over here and choose the student. And you can apply it over to the multiple students here. So once that is done, all the students will be notified that they need to pay that particular fee over here. So all the students' master data is captured here. So you will be able to see what kind of fees these 10, 20 students need to pay. Once that is done, it is say I have choose this 50 students here. I can say all of these are supposed to pay, let's say the tuition fee of this 30,000. Build a schedule. It will go and make sense saying that, okay, these all students have to pay the fees here. One shot, everything is entered here. So then you will be able to get the report over here. So you have got the complete data of who is supposed to pay what fee. The whole list is there. You will be able to track who has paid, how much paid, and you can be able to accept the amount directly through the system. And there is an option when the students log in there, they will be able to pay the fees directly using the QR code and enter here. And we can also integrate with your preferred banking partner. As long as the API is given, we'll be able to integrate with Razorpay. We have already done for collection of our, we use Razorpay actually. You can pay your annual maintenance charges or the cloud charges to us using the Razorpay. Similarly, your students will be able to use our platform, pay the fees here. So that gets entered over here. There is this waive fee fine is there, student fee summary you are getting, the multiple reports are available, whole kind of things here. And let me tell you, we are now building a huge dashboard things over here. So this is the kind of the dashboard you are going to see for the fees also over here. It will go further deep into this, and then you click on this, it will go and open that particular screen, and again drill down all the way you interact with that particular student. So that's the fee management over here. Then we are going to go into the finance management. That's the core, the second part that I explained, right? So here, this screen, we are talking about different charts of accounts. So look at this screen. Here, let me increase the thing. You have got assets, equity, expenses, income, liability, and meticulously we have 1100 cash and equivalent, TDS receivable, all these kind of things are here. You will be able to do this one-time setup as per this gap, generally accepted accounting practice. What as per the recommendation of your chartered accountants to define the account heads and under this hierarchy. For example, let me just spend a minute on that hierarchy, why this is so important over here. Cash and cash equivalent, right? So under this, different banks you define. Under the banks, you may have the different accounts. And under that particular bank or the account, you have got the fixed deposits. You can maintain that also. And if it happens to be assets, you'll be able to track fixed assets, movable assets, immovable assets, large assets, small assets. Once that, all that you can go in further, you can maintain that entire chart and hierarchy over here. Okay. So this is the chart of account. So next comes this, the account types. So this is what we saw. Account subtypes we have got over here, chart of accounts, and this is another view of the chart of accounts. Now, once you do this, then comes the bank state transactions. So there's all the sample transaction test data we have loaded over here. You will be able to import your bank statement here. So I can simply go over here, import. There is an account type, subtype you can import. Finance, complete chart of accounts you can import. Let me tell you why this is important, that software should have this feature. Our goal is that when you become our customer, the entire deployment should complete within a week. How much ever complex it should complete within a week is our goal over here. That is why you may have a system, you have defined the accounts, we will work you to import all that data here. And if we can go for 1 week, if the large data, it can go to a few weeks. Definitely should not be like a years together where you keep on doing the experiment with. No. Easy one system, it stands for one system, rock solid system, just the way many libraries are using. We are very happy to state that nearly at least 100 colleges are using EasyLip software for more than 20 years, actually. So we have got total 700 customers. Thanks to all the customers. Many of our sales are through the referral. Somebody refers to another person, another person, another person. That's how the entire sales and sales are growing, actually. Okay. So now we have deployed that kind of robustness in the financial module also. You will be able to import your existing financial mapping you have got. That I showed you, right? That we have that chart of accounts. That is the TDS receivable, other assets, Axis Bank. See, Axis Bank, we have got an easily, so we loaded that. You may have the account at a different place. You can, if you have got an Excel, you can simply import that complete chart of accounts. Then you can import your bank statement. Bank send you the Excel statement, right? Every quarter, you can simply import it. Or you can even, there is a next enhancement also coming up in picture over here. That is to connect it to the bank directly, where everything will come automatically the same day. The transaction happens, it should reflect in Easy One system. That integration is also in process over here. Let me tell you, there are three things that we stand for. Number one is superior product. The product that we give you should be the rock solid best of the best application. It should give you the most features that you desire, where you should feel really happy in using that. That is the first goal of ours. The second goal of ours is to give a rock reliable system and trustworthy support over here, wherein when you want to use the software is available, the service is available, your doubts are cleared on time, and you are able to perform your operations. That is the second goal that we have got. And the third goal that we have got is the continuous innovation, where the software keeps on getting enhanced over here for additional things. So that is one of the enhancements that's going to come over here in EasyLib. You click, go to the chart of account and Axis Bank, click a button, reconcile, it will connect to your Axis Bank and then download the data from there and come into over here. That's another enhancement that is going on over here. There are a lot of other integrations, including the integration with the GST department, ESI department, multiple departments. Whoever is ready to give an open API for integration, we will be happy to integrate. And by the way, when we are talking about the API, we have a separate module within API for other applications integration with EasyLib. Actually, there are nearly, how many? 94 APIs we have provided, where other systems can talk to EasyLib. Even the external systems can talk to EasyLib over here. Okay, now coming back to the finance module, we have got the bank transactions import and the journal transactions import we have got. Why do we have that? Because when you start to come to Easy One, it shouldn't happen that all your history data is lost. If the history data is lost, again, you have to go to the old system or look at the pen and paper and what's going on. So what we recommend, and then we can help you, is that import all your last 3 years data into Easy One. So you have got Easy One system during the deployment phase, import all your past data, see the reports over in Easy One and see that report and the old report, they should match. That is the proof that the Easy One system is working as expected. So that's why we got the journal imports available over here. Journal transaction lines import, all those things are. And the last SQL report I'm telling you, in case there are any reports that we don't have, we have the ability for you to dynamically write that SQL report over here, wherein our team will help come up with independent report for your organization. So, okay, now that once the import is done, you will be able to generate this, look at all the journal transactions you have got. Here, transaction ID, this was the 2025-01 transfer, GST payment we made, other payment, all, if I look at it, it has got the debit, credit over here. So here all the lines are going to be there. So the debit, credit, everything should be balancing, right? So all of that is there. So we are feeding a lot of data over here. This is the test data that we are feeding in. So lots of data in one system for your benefit, easily accessible. You have got all the journal transactions, 3,410, right? With just the last year data that we fed for our own testing purpose here. So look at this one, for example, tech over, we paid this bill who provides the cloud service charges to us. Say how much we paid at that time, server space, 60,000 we paid, and the state government GST, the central GST, and the account payable 70,800. Of course, the prices have increased now. That's a different matter. By the way, let me tell you, whatever we collect as the fee from you, almost 60 to 70% of the amount we invest in the rock solid server. Okay, so that's a different story. Let me go back over here. So there are different journals you can import here. Then you have got the journal lines. You have the ability to inquire on those different journals lines separately. Okay, you can do that. Then you have got the trial balance here. So this is of course the test data. Okay, so you can choose whatever date you want. And I'll choose one date, random date. I'm going to choose it. Let's say 2024. I'm going to choose, some date. I'm going to put April 1st till today. Let me check and apply filter. It's going to generate as per that. what is the TDS receivable, cash on hand, cash in hand. This is all that sample data. Don't worry about the validity of this data. But let me tell you, all this is coming from the journal entries and based on the opening balance sheet is concerned, that also. Okay. So the traditional, we have also the ability for you to define the different headers, trial balance header. You can define for 2023, 24, 24, 25, like this. You can define, you can edit header define that header. Under that view, the different lines over here, and you will be able to generate the lines because, it will go and connect it to this, the journal lines, and then come up with the trial balance over here. Okay. And then you have got the ability to track the opening balance. So the reason why I'm telling this is that we have got the ability, say, suppose the financial year in India starts on April 1st. The account for the previous year is not closed, right? At that time, that's what we have done is that we have provided a time slot where April 1st onwards, it will take the opening balance that we have manually verified and it's accurate. So that's why there is a opening balance entry, separate entry, you can create that. So in case there is a modification in the previous year's financials, it will not affect the next year's. You can see that kind of thought we have put based thanks to our auditors who have explained all these things. So let me explain once again. If at all for some reason you modify the last year's data before you file, automatically this year's data may or may not be modified. If you want to modify, it will get modified. But if you do not want, it will not get modified. So that way you have the control on the exact how the data is presented. Okay, so that is the trial balance header, the trial balance lines are there. There is an income statement over here. See, this is the income statement that we looked at it, right? So there is an income statement, new income statement that has come over here. So you choose the whatever the date, 2024, 25. If you want the, there is the account code, what is the amount, what is the, what is it come over here? So let me choose one of the, maybe the financial year. So I'm not sure if, okay. This is a sample data that we fed. We sold for this account code, cloud version renewal 53 lakh, AMC 11 lakh, hardware 21,000, barcode 3 lakh 33, RFID total 87 lakhs. Right. So, income statement, and there is a new enhancement that is coming up to be able to format it the way you want it to represent, right? That's another thing that is going on over here. Then there is a cash flow statement, which is going to calculate the cash flow for you over here. Then there is a balance statement, balance sheet that's going to be over here. So you have got this, there is going to, it's going to generate the balance sheet, and then there is a difference. It will help you. Okay, see the difference, go and fix those accounting. Maybe you have not entered this depreciation, maybe you have not accounted certain things. You do all those things and you're automatically the balance sheet will match over here. So here assets, liability, so all of that. Okay. So now look at this. So, and then there is a screen for opening balance, new detailed balance sheet lines, all the things over here. So net, we have made sure that this system that we give you is going to help you generate the balance sheet, income statement, financials, cash flow statement that you can straight away print it and file it with the government. That is our goal for you. Okay. Then the third component that I told is integration with the multiple systems, right? That is so important over here. So here we have got the master data. This talks about maintaining the data of all your staff, all your students, in the student, allied health, so many students are there, alumni, so many are there, professors are so many are there, assistant professors are so many are there. You have this data here. Then there is a HRMS system over here, wherein you can track the leaves over here for the students, for the faculty. You have got that leave management here. Then there is an acquisition system over here. Purchasing module is here. You can go and see what kind of purchases you are doing over here, from whom you are doing. You can create the purchase order and allocate the amount, and then entire workflow of that paying to that particular vendor will flow. Then you have got the sales desk over here. Suppose if your organization offers the consultancy to different organizations, you will be able to track who all organizations you are going to try to sell something. and go to this particular organization. You simply click on I and you will be able to create an invoice for them actually. Okay. If I click on I see the real invoices, I can see the print. It's going to print that particular invoice for you over here. And in fact, when all the invoices that you get, right, for the renewals, that is all generated out of our own systems. We don't use any other system because, we write the software, we make sure that we use it and we are satisfied, then only we offer it to you. So there is a complete sales system is there. So sales system is there, purchasing system is there, HR system is there, fee management system is there. Then there is a integration with the library also is there. Acquisitions module over here. In the library, acquisitions module deals with what kind of books have been purchased. It's a whole process altogether. Students can recommend the book, faculty can recommend the book, library can create a RFP, that is a request for the proposal, send to the vendors. Vendors will be able to input the price or upload an Excel, and the library will be able to do a quotation comparison, then issue a purchase order. The vendor will supply that item, the librarian, then there is a GRN, goods receipt notice created, then you print and then do the payment over here. So all of these are integrated within Easy One system. Of course, the system is constantly getting enhanced. So when we deploy the software for you, there is going to be a little lead time wherein we work with you. Gradually, we want to make sure that whole thing gets deployed within a week of time, including your data entry. Okay. At this moment, you can be pretty confident it is not going to go to years together. It's going to be a matter of only a few weeks. Once we deploy the software, it's going to be up and running for you. Okay. So with that, I would like to conclude this webinar. As I said earlier, smarter finance, greater transparency, better decisions is our goal. And these are the components that our Easy One system offers you related to the transparent financial management within your organization, fee management, complete accounting, and associated areas. And with this, I would like to conclude, and then we would like to have you as our customers. Kindly reach me or Sahana or Sidhu or Ashok, any of our team members. The numbers are displayed here, and we'll be happy to work with you and deploy this system for you. Thank you and have a wonderful day. And the forum is now open for questions.